On May 3rd, 2025, 4 Kenyan filmmakers walked free after a night in custody caught in the fallout of the BBC's Blood Parliament documentary. But their cameras, laptops and hard drives are still in police hands. Why were they arrested, and what does this mean for press freedom in Kenya?
Chief of the Law Society of Kenya, and today in the morning, of course, you are aware that 4 filmmakers who are actually working with journalists or for other media, several media houses. Yesterday in the evening, they were, for lack of a better word, they had been taken, and rather they had not been given, rather memorialized, and they had been detained for the past 24 hours. 2 of them were actually detained at Pangani police station, and the other 2 were brought to Muthaiga police station. And the courtesy of the media houses and other advocates, and also some friends from the law enforcement, were able to give me further information as far as the reasons why these individuals had been taken. And from the perusal of the OB, it seems that they were likely going to be charged with the publication of false information. We're yet to know the particulars on why these charges do exist.
Let's unpack the story that has got the nation talking. On Friday night, May 2nd, 2025, police raided a studio in Nairobi's Karen area, arresting 4 filmmakers, Nicholas Wambugu, Brian Adagala, Mark Denver Karubiu, and Chris Wamai. They were split between Pangani and Muthaiga police stations. Their equipment, cameras, hard drives and laptops confiscated. After more than 24 hours without formal charges, they were released on free bond on May 3rd, but their tools remain with the police.
For items such as cameras, hard disk, internal hard drives, the DCI know very well they're supposed to make a miscellaneous application in court. They go get a court order and they confiscate all those mobile phones and things like that. Up to now, I've not seen a copy of this particular court order or the miscellaneous application. So therefore, for me, the fact that they have obtained those particular gadgets, that has been illegally, and in any case they intend to use them in court, I'll actually have them struck off the record for that purpose.
The arrests were linked to Blood Parliament, a BBC documentary exposing security forces' role in killing at least 60 Kenyans during the 2024 anti-finance bill protest.
Why they'd been taken, it seems they're being targeted for the publication of the Blood Parliament documentary, which was aired by BBC. And at this particular juncture, it was a very concerning because, as from my knowledge, I did not get to even have a miscellaneous quite a copy of the application on why their gadgets and why their offices were raided and why their equipment had been taken.
But here is the twist. A BBC spokesperson clarified on May 3rd that these 4 were not involved in the film's production. So why were they targeted? Law Society of Kenya advocate Ian Mutiso, who secured their release, called the arrest unlawful, noting the police acted without due process or legal counsel, a violation of basic rights.
The unfortunate part is that the DCIO for Pangani gave me some very concerning statement that this was not a matter which was under his purview, but he did inform me that this was being coordinated from DCI headquarters. Therefore, I think the question you have asked me is something I'll need to follow up with the DCI headquarters. Fortunately, I'll have the LSK leadership who will be there with me as well, and we'll be able to ascertain exactly what particular charges and or exactly what they're intending to do insofar as the investigations are concerned.
Blood Parliament, released on April 28, 2025, is a 40-minute expose that names security officers behind the deadly shootings during the June 25, 2024 protest, when Gen Z-led demonstrators stormed Parliament over tax hikes. The film's graphic footage triggered global condemnation and reignited anger over human rights abuses in Kenya.
On the grounds of Kenya's parliament.
Social media erupted after the arrest. Human rights activist Hussein Khalid confirmed the filmmaker's detention, while posts on X demanded their release with hashtags like #BloodParliament trending. Many Kenyans saw these as the government trying to silence dissent. Activist Boniface Mwangi took to X defending his colleagues at Sema Ukweli Kenya, Mark Denver Karubiu and Brian Dagala as honest videographers exposing bad governance. He described Nicholas Wambugu as an award-winning storyteller and Chris Omae as a filmmaker just visiting friends, emphasizing none were tied to the documentary's production. The documentary did not just spark public anger, it drew fire from politicians. Some, like Homa Bay MP Peter Kaluma, claimed Kenyans had moved on from the protest and even called for the BBC ban. But the arrest drew unexpected criticism from within the government. Digital strategist Dennis Itumbi, a key aide to President William Ruto, called the detentions unnecessary. Itumbi argued there is another side to the June 2024 protest, violence and political planning behind the parliament storming, and urged for a new film to tell that story. Still, he condemned the arrest, saying targeting filmmakers for their work sets a dangerous precedent. The police booked the filmmakers for alleged false publication but filed no charges. Ian Mutiso, their lawyer, vowed to pursue legal action against the police for the arrest and equipment seizure, calling it an attack on press freedom, especially poignant on World Press Freedom Day.
We cannot be in a society whereby the police act unjustifiably without following due process, and also the fact that they had been taken and their statements had been taken without any advocates present. That's the abuse of their own rights in that respect. But that notwithstanding, I'm just pleased for the actions from the support I received from the Law Society of Kenya.
This saga has exposed the deep tensions in Kenya's democracy. The confiscation of the fishermen's equipment raises a fear of evidence tampering or intimidation, while the arrests signal a broader crackdown on free expression.
My name is Nick Wambugu. For me, it's just short. I just want to say I'm happy for the guys who came through. For sure, definitely friends came through. Relatives came through. My family came through. My sister came through. My brother came through, and my dad came through. And pretty much everyone who was concerned, all the WhatsApp groups that shared our arrest. Yeah, I want to just say thank you for that.
Kenya has long been East Africa's democratic beacon, but incidents like these raise questions. Will the government return the equipment and respect press freedom, or are we seeing a slide toward censorship? Newsroom, Maisha TV, reader carrying Chibet.